The winter wind howled across the desolate train platform of Sunset Station as thick snowflakes began to fall with increasing intensity. 52-year-old Samuel Mackenzie pulled his coat tighter around his broad shoulders as he waited for the evening train that would take him back to his ranch after completing business in town. His silver-streaked hair and weathered face told the story of decades spent working the land, and his calloused hands spoke of a man who had built his success through honest labor and determination. Samuel owned one of the largest cattle operations in the territory, but unlike many men of his position, he had earned respect through fair dealing and genuine care for his employees and neighbors. His reputation for helping those in need was well known throughout the region, though he rarely spoke of his charitable acts. As the storm intensified, Samuel noticed he was not alone on the platform. A young Native American woman sat on the wooden bench near the station house, her traditional dress and beadwork identifying her as likely Comanche. She appeared to be in her late 20s, with long dark hair and intelligent eyes that held both strength and current worry. Her carefully crafted clothing suggested skill and cultural pride, but her current situation seemed precarious. The woman clutched a small leather satchel and occasionally glanced toward the empty tracks with growing concern. Samuel could see that she was shivering despite her heavy woolen shawl, and the way she kept checking. A folded piece of paper suggested she might be dealing with some kind of travel difficulty. As the snow continued to fall more heavily, Samuel approached respectfully, maintaining a careful distance to avoid seeming threatening. "Excuse me, miss," he said quietly. "I could not help but notice you seem concerned. Is everything all right with your travel plans?" The woman looked up at him with cautious but not unfriendly eyes. "The station master told me the eastbound train has been delayed indefinitely due to the storm," she replied in clear, educated English. "I was traveling to the territorial capital to meet with government officials about land treaty negotiations for my people." Samuel nodded with understanding and respect. "Those meetings are important work. I am Samuel Mackenzie. I own a ranch about 12 miles north of here. May I ask your name?" "I am Ayanna Crowfeather," she replied with dignity. "I serve as a translator and advocate for my tribe in dealings with territorial authorities." Samuel recognized the significance of her role and the courage it required to navigate between two often hostile worlds. "That is vital and difficult work, Miss Crowfeather. I imagine the delay puts you in a challenging position." Ayanna nodded, her concern becoming more evident. "The meetings are scheduled for tomorrow morning. If I cannot reach the capital tonight, months of preparation will be wasted, and my people may lose important protections for our remaining lands." The weight of her responsibility was clear, and Samuel felt compelled to help. "Miss Crowfeather, I realize this may seem presumptuous, but I have a large, comfortable ranch house with guest accommodations. My housekeeper, Mrs. Patterson, would be happy to provide you with a warm meal and safe lodging for the night. In the morning, I could arrange transportation to get you to the territorial capital in time for your meetings." Ayanna studied his face carefully, clearly evaluating his sincerity and trustworthiness. "Why would you offer such assistance to a stranger?" Samuel paused, choosing his words carefully. "Because I have seen too much injustice in my lifetime, and I believe that when someone is working to protect their people's rights, decent folks should offer help when they can. Also, my late wife always taught me that we are judged not by our wealth or status, but by how we treat those who need assistance." Something in his tone and manner seemed to reassure Ayanna. "Your offer is generous, Mr. Mackenzie, but I must ask, what assurances can you give me about my safety and respectful treatment? I have encountered men who offer help with less honorable intentions." Samuel appreciated her directness and caution. "That is a fair and wise question. Mrs. Patterson has been with my household for 15 years and would serve as your host. You would have a private room with a secure lock. I give you my word as a gentleman that you would be treated with complete respect and safety. If at any point you feel uncomfortable, I would immediately arrange alternative accommodations in town." Ayanna considered his offer as the storm continued to worsen around them. Finally, she nodded. "I accept your offer, Mr. Mackenzie. The work I do for my people is too important to risk failure because of pride or excessive caution." The journey to Samuel's ranch house took nearly 2 hours through the blowing snow, but his sturdy wagon and experienced horses managed the treacherous road safely. During the trip, Samuel and Ayana talked about the challenges facing both ranchers and native communities in the changing territory. Many people do not understand that we want the same basic things, Ayana observed. Security for our families, fair treatment under the law, and the ability to preserve our way of life while adapting to changing times. Samuel nodded thoughtfully. I have always believed that most conflicts come from fear and misunderstanding, rather than true incompatibility of interests. People who take time to actually talk to each other often find common ground. At the ranch house, Mrs. Patterson welcomed Ayana warmly and prepared a comfortable guest room with a blazing fireplace. Over dinner, Samuel learned more about Ayana's education at a mission school, her deep knowledge of both Comanche and English law, and her dedication to serving as a bridge between cultures. You are doing important work, Samuel said with genuine admiration. It takes tremendous courage to stand between two worlds and try to create understanding. Someone must do it, Ayana replied simply. Too many people on both sides benefit from conflict and misunderstanding. There are those in my tribe who see any negotiation as betrayal, and those among your people who would prefer we simply disappear entirely. The next morning, Samuel arranged for his fastest horses and most reliable driver to transport Ayana to the territorial capital. As they prepared to leave, she turned to him with sincere gratitude. Your kindness may have saved more than just my travel plans, Mr. Mackenzie. The protections we are seeking could prevent conflicts that would harm both our peoples. Samuel shook her hand respectfully. I hope your negotiations are successful, Miss Crowfeather. If you ever need assistance or a safe place to stay during future travels, please consider my home always open to you. 6 months later, Ayana returned to the region as part of a delegation implementing the new treaty agreements she had helped negotiate. She stopped at Samuel's ranch to thank him again and update him on the positive outcomes of those crucial meetings. Over the years that followed, Samuel's ranch became known as a place where people of all backgrounds could find fair treatment and assistance when needed. Ayana often visited during her travels, and their friendship became a model for the kind of respectful cooperation that could exist between different communities. Their chance encounter at Sunset Station had demonstrated that even in times of tension and misunderstanding, individual acts of kindness and respect could create bridges between different worlds and contribute to a more just and peaceful future for all.